All right, today we are pulling back the curtain on something fascinating, the invisible architecture that shapes every single one of our interactions. It's called the social frame, and I promise you, once you see it, you're going to start seeing it everywhere.
You know that feeling, right? You're in a meeting, maybe in a negotiation, or heck, even just a casual chat, and suddenly you feel the ground shift. It's like you've lost your footing, you've lost control of the conversation. Well, that feeling is very real, and it's because there is a hidden power dynamic playing out in literally every social situation.
So what you're actually feeling in those moments, it's a constant subconscious negotiation of these social frames. Think of it like an unseen battle for context, for meaning, that happens every single time we talk to another human being.
So what in the world is a frame? Well, according to behavior expert Chase Hughes, a frame is basically the internal definition you create for any social interaction. It's your personal lens, you know? And it's shaped by everything, your past experiences, your beliefs, how you see yourself, and here's the kicker, everyone has one all the time.
And this is absolutely crucial. When two frames meet, they don't just hang out. There's a subconscious push and pull. And the person with the stronger, more confident frame, their frame ends up setting the tone for the entire interaction. The other person just unconsciously adopts it. This is happening constantly, whether we realize it or not.
To really get a grip on this, we've got to break it down. Let's think of a frame like a building, okay? A building with 4 corners, and each corner represents a different level of influence, from the most fragile and easy to change, all the way to the most solid.
Let's walk through how these levels build on each other. We start with expectation, then move up to beliefs, then perception, and finally, the bedrock, definition. Understanding this hierarchy is the whole key. It's how you understand frames, and more importantly, how you can start building a stronger one for yourself.
So first up is expectation. This is the weakest, most fragile corner of the frame. It's basically our mental script for a situation. Think about ordering a coffee. The barista expects you to order, you expect them to make your drink. It's all very predictable, and because it's just a script, it's also the easiest part of someone's frame to disrupt.
Next, we level up to beliefs. This is all about our assumptions of what's probably true in a situation. So imagine you're at a networking event. You might believe you have the social permission to walk up to a CEO and start a conversation. These are the assumptions we carry around about status, authority, and who's allowed to do what. Now we get to the third corner, perception. And this is where it gets really interesting. This isn't about objective reality anymore. It's what a person believes is a straight-up fact about themselves. Think of the security guard who perceives himself as being in charge, or the manager who sees her title as a source of real authority. That is their subjective reality, and it is much, much harder to challenge.
And finally, we have the strongest corner of all, definition. These are the objective, verifiable truths that pretty much everyone would agree on. An official job title, the written rules of an organization. These definitions give us concrete psychological permission to act in certain ways, and that makes this the most solid part of any frame.
Okay, so if frames are always interacting, does that mean every conversation is just a fight for dominance? No, absolutely not. And this right here is probably the most important mindset shift you can make. We have to reframe frame control, not as a battle, but as an act of leadership. This quote from the source material it nails it perfectly. It's not about having a frame that crushes other people. It's about building a frame that is so large, so strong, and so calm that other people's frames can feel safe and kind of protected right inside of it. And this slide just lays it all out, right? The competitive frame is always worried about status and power. And honestly, it's totally based in insecurity. But the collaborative frame, that's the leader's mindset. It sees every interaction as a chance to lift everyone up. And it is so much more powerful. So the source actually offers a really powerful model for this, calling it the father frame. Now, don't get hung up on the name. This has nothing to do with gender. It's about an archetype. It's about embodying a kind of composed, kind, and confident authority that gives encouragement and is pretty much unaffected by the drama of other, smaller frames. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but what happens when someone tries to test your frame? When they question your authority or try to pull you into their little competitive world. Let's get into some practical ways you can maintain that strong, collaborative reality.
Here is the key. This is really it. The foundation of a large, strong frame is internal calm. It's about being more comfortable than anyone else in the room and being completely, totally unaffected by power games or little attempts to establish hierarchy. When you genuinely don't care about status,
Those challenges have zero power over you.
This slide, these are gold. These are some powerful, practical phrases you can actually use. When someone challenges you, instead of getting all defensive, you just redirect. Notice how each of these phrases makes an observation about them. It keeps the focus on their state, not yours, and it lets you keep your composure completely intact.
And this ancient wisdom from Sun Tzu just perfectly captures the spirit of a collaborative frame. When you handle a challenge, you do it with grace. You don't embarrass the person or back them into a corner. You give them an easy, dignified way to retreat and join your larger, safer frame.
Okay, and here is a final, just wild insight from the source material. Why do we unconsciously give in to someone with a stronger frame? Well, it's because our brains make this powerful assumption that their level of certainty and confidence couldn't possibly exist unless it had already been approved by thousands of people before us. Your genuine confidence carries the invisible weight of a massive social tribe.
So when you put it all together, your frame isn't just your perspective. It's your reality. It dictates the terms of your interactions and your influence. So the only real question left is, how big are you willing to build yours?